Okay, this is going to be the end of this recording, and with the one on where I touch a little bit on the prologue, and then I'll go into each chapter. Something I wanted to touch real quick is that, you have to kind of put yourself in my character's shoes, okay? You feel the roughness on your hands, so you already know that, okay, you must wash ashore. The first thing that comes to mind is that, okay, maybe you washed ashore somewhere. You're thinking you're on Earth because, it looks like an Earth. It looks like the Earth that, we'd be on right now. And we all know how beach sand feels. But the beach sand of this world, it's kind of like smooth. Kind of like, somebody just poured out wet clay or something. But yet to the Targaryens and everybody else, that would be like the beach, right? So it doesn't feel right. Not to mention the color's all wrong on it too. And so, you kind of like wondering, okay, did something happen in the atmosphere? You're trying to breathe, and it feels like, okay, maybe something happened in the Earth's atmosphere or something. And so, you realize now that your chest is heavy, like as though somebody stood on it or something and they won't get off. But there's nothing on your chest. And as you breathe, you notice the air is thinner, so you're having a little trouble breathing. Obviously, you're in a situation now, you don't have no PPE right at hand because you just lost your rucksack and everything, and all you got is your uniform on. So, survival instincts, which is what humans have, I don't know what the Targaryens have, is that as you're coming to, you're trying to figure out, okay, well, I need to control my breathing because otherwise I probably could actually pass out from lack of oxygen. So you kind of like do special breathing techniques as you're trying to get yourself out of this icy cold water. And that way, as you can control your breathing, you might find something to help you breathe better. So this is kind of where it kind of sets the stage for the mysterious human, which is why I would be perfect for this, because I have to adjust myself because I got to try to figure things out. Everything's happening so fast. And then it's like, I probably think I'm dead because here's this gorgeous blonde. People have their ideas of what heaven would be like. And, of course, my hearing's gone because whatever happened, either I had water in my ears or something. And, some people say they've had near-death experience or something like that. But, for my character, it's like something grabs me, rolls me over on my back. And I was like, oh my gosh, here is this gorgeous, sexy, beautiful blonde looking down on me. Okay. Now, Targaryens probably don't know what the word sexy is, but, you can't even hear your own selves talking, even if you did try to talk, or you probably can't utter a sound because parts of your body are all numb. And you're thinking probably, okay, so I've gone to heaven because this lady here is so gorgeous and so sexy. She has very bright golden hair, and I mean, just deep, piercing, beautiful eyes, And she has, we all know what the mother dragon's facial expressions are. I mean, she doesn't look like she's angry looking down at me. It's kind of like, I wonder what you are, because you don't have clothes like we do. And so it's like a part smile, like she's discovered something great. But at the same time, she don't quite trust me. So you got to kind of paint the scene before it goes into the actual story. And so this is like something special. I guess she's like hesitant because again, my character can only see that her lips are moving, but you don't hear anything. So she's probably like thinking to herself out loud, "Gee, what should I do? Here's this person, and he's got strange clothes." And she's probably looking over to where her guards are at, looks back at me, and maybe makes a slight smile. But she knows that, she can't just start dragging me off somewhere, even if she's stronger than me. So she probably decides, well, we're going to have to do this step by step the right way. So she walks off, and it's like, no, don't go. I mean, I'm enjoying your beautiful face and everything. And so you'll notice that when I cover it, I kind of like say something dumb or something, because I'm thinking, okay, maybe I've gone insane, and maybe they change their mind. Oh, yeah, you get a fish and it's too small and you have to throw it back. It's like, oh, no, okay, this one don't meet expectation. Like a fish, throw it back in the water or something. So you kind of figure that your mind is not quite there yet. And your hearing is just barely starting to come back. So is your voice. And, okay, now you put yourself in the guard's shoes. They don't know what you're saying, and you don't know what they're saying, okay? Because, again, you're the only one that speaks your human language. And so you kind of think of a dumb joke, like, well, Dorothy, we're not in Kansas anymore. And you start laughing yourself, and they're probably thinking, okay, we got thing, must be an insane idiot or something. So you can only imagine what's running through their minds. And of course, then when I try to speak, as they're trying to talk to me, it's like, I don't understand what you're saying. Well, now they know I speak a different language. So it's just how the scene starts. So even though I didn't mention it, there is just a little bit of suspense here. Who is this mysterious character? This is why realism and a new face, not a Hollywood movie star. This is where I come in, because I know my own character better. And it's like, okay, so eventually I'm going to want to try to communicate to him, but I won't start this until I'm like prodded with these swords. Like, are you kidding me? Why are you dudes dressed in armor? Uh, you're supposed to be like in like some kind of United Federation of Planets uniform. I mean, it doesn't hit me at first. I only can suspect that when I start seeing dragons, it's like, okay, there's something wrong here. Am I really on Earth? And I kind of suspect I'm not, but I'll cover that in a little bit. It's the crash of reality. And so I just wanted to clear this part up, because it is kind of an interesting scenario as to why I would have to do my own character, because, again, only I can think these things up. That's why I've been told I've got the creativity now, thanks to the actress having been a big inspiration and motivation to me, because all these creative ideas come in. Well, then I got to be that character, because I create as I go, you know, because I visualize if I'm on her world right now, and I zone everything else out on purpose when I did the writing of this skit. How am I going to communicate with her? And as the story goes along, yeah, I can't help but be sexually attracted to her. I mean, because maybe she is an angel, you know. Even after the crash of reality, it's like, well, maybe heaven is its own universe and has planets. Because I'm trying to think about this stuff, and then it was eventually, when the topic about telescopes comes up, then I realize, okay, I'm no longer on Earth. So either I was abducted by a UFO and they only hide behind the scene that they have knight's armor, which, okay, again, being a human, weird thoughts here. So I feel the shoes perfectly for my character. And then, of course, like, well, no, because why would they wander around in knight's armor and stuff? I mean, that wouldn't make sense if they got UFOs. So it's like, I don't know why I'm here. The only thing I could do is flash back a bit, and I do have a nightmare where she comforts me, and I think I covered that a little bit about how my overall character review where I built my character, and so it's like, um, it's like how do I handle this? I mean, because she asked me things that it is like very nerve wracking. I mean, it's just well it's kind of got some riveting moments. And so it's, yeah, I mean, if I ended up on an alien world, but I'm the alien, and they look pretty damn good looking, it's like, I can't help myself, because I am a human after all, and certain things are going to spark up in me. But the thing I don't realize is that a Targaryen now has twice the senses as a human, and I think that's what attracts her to me. So I'll just kind of leave you at this point as I cover the intro and prologue as to what my character goes through this narration part. Um, Once I'm done with the narration, I should be somewhere close to sending all 9 chapters of the story. And then also there will be the introduction to the coming sequel, Khaleesi's Dragon Spirit. And I'll tell you what, if you think the one area of this one is got some high erotica in it, all I can tell you is that I do play out a scene by describing what's going on in the sequel. Sometimes women like to have time to themselves, right? I made the mistake of trying to. Well, it wasn't a mistake. I mean, I just wanted to spend some time with her because now we're like already married. I'm jumping ahead a bit, but I don't want to ruin it for you. And well, there's her and her handmaiden. They're in a tub, and you can picture what else is going on. But they're not doing anything with each other. I mean, all I can say is that I thought I would, like usual, turn around real quickly and Khaleesi's like, well, no, you don't need to turn around because you're here now, like it really matters. Because again, their world has no shame. But at the same time, Khaleesi also apologized because she should have told me well in advance that, there might be times you can't party in the palace. It doesn't mean I read off or something to that effect because she likes to have time alone. So she didn't plan for this, but she kind of plays it as she goes along, having me in there. And even though you'll hear it, the story where she says she's not going to share me with anyone, it turns out I kind of get ravaged, and I'll just leave it at that. And it was then that she decides, well, this is going to be a lesson to him, because even though it's not his fault, I should have told him ahead of time so he didn't need to apologize. But I think he'll hopefully learn his lesson that if I have a time alone to soak in a bathtub, you don't just kind of water into here because, yeah, he's going to get it for sure. So I'm going to keep you in suspense on that part, and we're going to go right to our narration. But that's going to be coming on the upcoming sequel. It's not just based on sex again, because um, he, in the second sequel, is, yes, Dragon Sphere, husband to Mother of Dragons, who's still got more power than Dragon Fears does. And they're going to be preparing after he takes all his lessons for war. So anyway, so here we go with our narrations chapter by chapter. Okay, this is the first chapter, And in the prologue, there might be one error that would have to be corrected, as whoever the professional dictator is typing it into actual hard copy document. It's not a new revelation. This would just be a new revelation. So I wanted to get that cleared up for the record. In the prologue, you have to kind of visualize this, that I'm using this strange device which Khaleesi has never seen before, much like a captain of a starship. I'm documenting things that I see. So it would show me talking into this like handheld device, which not only I had music uploaded on it, but I'm able to record my experiences. And so that's what the prologue portrays. Now, the scenes for chapter 1 is, pretty much there's about like 6 of them. And so this human, is like found soaking wet. I pass out because I don't know how long I've been in the waters. They have a discussion about me because I've drawn these strange things, and Khaleesi's never seen anybody in her kingdoms that would draw such a thing on paper, because I tried to draw it in dirt, because apparently somebody didn't yet sweep the palace floors. Fortunately, that was fortunate for me. And so instead of drawing in the dirt, she wanted to be able to have whatever it is that I'm trying to do. And so, she points out these clothes, and, you got to put yourself in the human character's shoes. Okay, you got this beautiful woman, and she's standing there expecting you to get up out from under the covers, and you're like, oh my God, I'm naked. You just don't stand naked in front of a woman. And you kind of know that she's got some kind of importance. Can anybody honestly say, oh yeah, I stood naked in front of a queen? Because you probably, that might not be a good idea. Nobody's going to do that, whether it be a president, an emperor. It's just proper etiquette. And so as the human character realizes, this is not something that a human would do. But see, he kind of only guesses that he's from another world, or on another world, because the reality has not crashed yet. He hasn't had whatever triggers it, and that don't come till like another later point in time, which I believe would probably be within the next chapter or two. And so even though he is on an alien world, he has to come to real terms that now, even though he's human, he is now the alien. Okay, because until this crash of reality happens, obviously there's no other humans around. And so he's graduated from one of the 4 branches of the United Federation of the Planets, which has just barely gotten started prior to the passing of the Planet X Nibiru system to Earth, which led to a very catastrophic event. 1/3 of the population is killed off. So major catastrophe happened. And so he still reflects on the training that he had, because he holds the rank of a colonel. And so part of his training, much like that of Starfleet, is, somebody's got to break the language barrier. Okay, now granted, as the viewer viewing this in a theater or on a movie, you might hear her speak English, but you have to use your imagination, that even though you, the viewer, hear her talking to her guard in English, like, well, I think he's trying to communicate with us. If you were to make it reality, I would not hear her say that. It would sound foreign to me. It's a language I've never heard before, because I don't know Targaryen language. In fact, I don't even know she's Targaryen yet. So I have to use the human skill that is called visualization. If I can try to give her a visualization of who I am and where I come from, at first she might be confused, thinking, oh yeah, I came out of the dirt of their ground, but I had to, like, no. And then I gently fling my hand up in the air, pointing to the sky. Okay, she now probably could be thinking, oh, the gods sent you, or something like that. Don't know what a Targaryen thinks. But it's to start breaking the language barrier. And I guess apparently this human has gotten her interest, because I'm not like anybody of her world. Obviously, she already knows I don't belong to any kingdom. I'm way too small, because again, usually with the
exception of the one particular representative of the Lannisters who is about, short in their world. But again, you have to imagine that short people in our world would be shorter than the short person of her world, because it's about minimum height is 6 foot. That's normal for the world, because the world is about 4 or 5 times bigger than Earth. They have 2 moons showing at night on the right time. Gravity is much heavier, but the air is thinner for me because I'm low in stature. I have my human frailties. And though the men may be somewhat physically stronger than Khaleesi, she's still stronger than me. In fact, she's even stronger than a human female. And so, yeah, my main thing is, can I communicate with her? What can I do to get her to like, oh, hey, this person is trying to communicate with me. And so her having a high IQ for her, what I perceive to be a high IQ, because she's a woman of great importance. You can tell by this extravagant chair she's sitting on, okay? She obviously is someone that has a ruling authority, because even though I don't understand the language, it's like when she speaks, they do whatever she tells her, because I'm seeing all this. And so she takes me in like what we would say the human version of a lost puppy or kitten. She puts this like royal pillow or mattress pad down by her bed. She wants to keep an eye on me. Am I going to harm her? And it's like I'm her new lab experiment or something. What she wants to keep a close eye on me for some reason. And so after a few scenes, we finally break the language barrier. But this is where her high IQ shows. See, most people, when they immigrate from one country to another, like, people to the United States, it usually takes about a week, month or so to learn the English language. She's never even heard it, but her intelligence is so strong, and it could explain why she's the queen, is why she holds up her hand, because then, even though at first it's short phrases, she finally gets a grasp on this language, because to her it's pretty easy. So she didn't have to have, like, say, 2 or 3 days to pick up on the language. That's what she tells the humans speak. She wants to know, how can she communicate? And so this was a much success, and so that's why she has short phrases, human, earth, and long story short, so why here? So she's trying to figure out, why are you here? You're a human, and you're claiming you're coming from space. Why are you here? She wants to know, are you trying to invade my world or what? I mean, this is probably what she's trying to get at. So this was kind of a fun scene, and I visualized everything as I was doing this. Sometimes I'd work from 11 o'clock at night to 6 in the morning with maybe only 2 hours sleep. So I put in a lot of back-breaking hours as I'm making this. But this was a pretty good, fun scene, and again, based on survival, I already accepted my fate. I mean, my rucksack hasn't been found yet. I'm starving. When she bites into this great sized plum, I come to realize, well, I'm already doomed. I mean, this food could be poisonous, but if I could offend her if I don't eat it. And I'm going to die from not eating anything, or I'm going to die when she hands me what she just ate off of. So I figured, my whole world's gone. So what am I going to do? I just might as well get it over with. If I'm going to die, I'm going to die. And I accept this. But the fact is I don't. And that takes me, the human character, by surprise. It's like, okay, hey, this is really good, So she's like feeding me like you would a lost puppy dog, because like either she finds me to be a very cute human being, or she's very stimulated by, I'm starting to come a little bit forward, and I think this is why she leads me off to this room. Of course, I'm fearful because, knowing what I know, like the Roswell incident, okay, how do I know she's not going to like do to me like what we did to aliens that crashed on our world? She going to start cutting me up in my body parts to see how I'm made inside? I mean, so I have a lot to be afraid of, but I come to realize that when this doesn't happen, she wants to keep a close eye on me. She finds me the most peculiar person, and there is nobody in all of her history that has come washed up ashore in this way. So that makes me very unique and special in her eyes. So it eventually leads into the next chapter, breaking the language barrier.